Okay, Shalom. Shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah. Koholoyim La. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushai. Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. I just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Iowa that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Hanan the Waf just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. This guy is LFR family. It's for educational purposes only. I just want to use this for an educational video, not getting any monetary value off of it. But this guy done actually came up over the past couple of years. I've never really watched him like that. I did subscribe to his channel at one point. He was coming up with different little stuff. Information. You know what I'm saying? But he's pretty much a bootlicker, you ask me. He's like a, I don't know. He definitely. We know that 1.16 million of his followers, probably about 1 million of them, is probably so-called white people. But anyway, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, I seen this pop up on my timeline. 4,000 blacks own slaves. And, you got this guy. I can't think of this guy's name. I think his last name is Peterson. And he might be a damn terror. He act like a so-called white man. But you do have Negroes that's just, they're so about their master that these will be real house type niggas back in slavery. But I'm gonna play the video and just to get some clarification on the slave owning of blacks, so to speak, because they'll give you this song and dance about your own people sold you into slavery, which they try and compare us to Africans, which we're not Africans, because Africans are Hamites and we are actually Shemites, and we can get that too. In the Zonderman's Bible Dictionary, it explains that we're not the same people. So-called blacks in America, we're not the same people as so-called Africans, man. We're just not the same people. As a matter of fact, when you think about it, we can actually grow hair. Like, we can actually grow beads. I mean, beards. I said beads. I meant to say they only grow like little beady beads. But we can actually grow beards on our face. They're not designed that way. The Lord we're different people. Everyone with melanin is not the same people. So don't let them tell you that your own people sold your own people into slavery. Now, even though there were slave owners, this is true. That so-called blacks here in the Americas, owned slaves back, in the days. But guess what? Those slave owners, hell, they became slaves them damn selves. Because they were under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 as well. It didn't go well for them. And another thing that they're not saying is that those 4,000, you're not going to see in history. Well, I'm sure there was some cruelty going on, because slave masters, people are just cruel in general. You know what I'm saying? Israelites are cruel towards each other. And that's a part of the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. So there's no doubt about it that, some of these so-called black people were treating their so-called black people dirty as hell. But I've never heard about so-called black slave owners castrating the slaves, hanging slaves, tying slaves to, rear end and front end to two horses, and then beating the horses and making the horses rip that man apart. I've never heard of so-called black people hanging so-called black people in trees and, putting their genitals in their mouth after cutting their genitals off, or so-called black people, cutting the skin off of so-called blacks and using it for shoes and purses and belts and shit like that. I never heard of nothing like that. Not that type of cruelty. That cruelty comes from Esau. And see, when they put videos out like this right here, they want you to believe that, or they want to take away the mindset from you that Esau should be punished for what he done to us. They want to see, you guys done it to each other, so you can't blame the so-called white man. Look at you. See, that's the type of shit that they throw at you. And let me grab a quick scripture, because I want to come back to this right here. We'll go off into the selling part, basically. Because there was a point where, the Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments on how to treat one of our brethren that, pretty much sold himself into servitude. And it was only for a lot of amount of time. It wasn't no damn chattel slavery where the kids being born, unless, you know what I'm saying? there was a way that the slaves were to be treated. The Lord had laws on how the Lord had laws on how servants should be treated of your own brethren. Straight up. It wasn't no you treating him all kinds of dirty, you whipping his back end all damn day long. You know what I'm saying? You going in and you sleeping with his wife. You telling him to get out of his own bed to sleep with his woman at night, at 3 a.m. when he got to get up in another 30 minutes to go out into the fields and work for your fucking ass till dark again. It wasn't like that, man. Come on, bro. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. But we are not ignorant of his devices. See, we're not ignorant of the fact that they use people like this, and they throw shit like this out there to make you try and forget what Esau done to you. So-called blacks don't have no slaves right now, but Esau, he still got slaves. He still got us in slavery. 500 years in the game. So damn near. These very so-called black people that you was talking about from back then, they don't have nobody in slavery right now. It's you so-called black people that's got us in contractual slavery, man. Taking taxes from our damn. I don't know no black people taking no taxes out of so-called black people's checks every week before they get paid. Here you go. You done got you a nice chunk. You done went into a man's wages. 15-20% of his wages you done took. And then you make the so-called, you make those same employees, so to speak, wait on their money for a week instead of paying them every day. See, those are laws that the Lord set up where you're not supposed to keep a man's wages overnight. You're supposed to pay that man every day. And it's not like they can't do it. Here you go. You got a digital system where it's nothing but fucking zeros and ones being put into a damn computer anyway. And you can't pay me every motherfucking day. You got direct deposit. What's the problem with you directing my shit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Why must it get to Friday or 2 weeks from now or a monthly? You think about people get paid monthly in this place. This shit is crazy. So no so-called black people are in control of stuff like that. So don't let these people, when they come with little shit like this right here, it's to try and throw your mindset off. And you got token Negroes that really fall for this shit and they run with it, man. But I'm gonna play the video. This is for educational purposes only. I think this guy's name is Jesse Peterson. Yeah, I don't know. I think this guy really he can't be as stupid as he be sounding. I think he be really trolling, man. Anyway, but let's play the video. This is for educational purposes only. Copyright disclaimer. I'm not getting any monetary value off of it. But let's play just a short clip of it, right?
Y'all saw what he said.
Salakia.
What source is that? No, what's your source? He said, no, that never happened. What's your source? What's your source? 4,000 blacks who own slaves?
In Kentucky or one of those areas.
What source is that? No, what's your source?
He said, no, that never happened. What's your source? What's your source? What's your source? Because ain't nowhere in the world that many black people own slaves. Because we never had that type of heart to be slave owners. We never would do anything like that. Well, sir, you're wrong.
Well, not to the extent of what Esau has done. See? Now there was slave. Matter of fact, let's go into it. Let's pull a little bit. Let's get a little bit of AI history. Let's see what they have to say. Because eventually they became slaves themselves. Okay, so this said the blacks owned slaves in Kentucky. Okay, so I'm assuming that Kentucky was one of the, because they just mentioned that. So I'm assuming that was one of the main places that they're talking about. And you may have one or two guys, 3 guys that was real big slave owners and things of that nature. But some of those, even some of those slave owners were so-called black ones were actually probably terrorists themselves. Because this is not a skin color thing, because the Israelites look like everybody. And then you have Edomites. It's like that guy Jesse Peterson. He could very well be a so-called white man, just with black skin. Because you have to realize that slave owners, the so-called white man, was sleeping or raping our foremothers, and those foremothers of ours were getting pregnant by the so-called white man. And those kids, that seed was his seed, which were Edomites. And if they came out being boys, You know, some of them were lighter skinned. You know what I'm saying? They worked in the house instead of the fields. But as time goes on, that so-called, say his seed grew up to meet one of the other so-called black women slaves, and he gets married to her. And matter of fact, this guy would enslave his own kids. He would know full well these are his children, and he would enslave them. He'd put their asses in the field too. But let's say that little kid grew up. He marries one of the slave women, and he impregnates her. That baby that she's going to have is no longer, that's not going to be a so-called black baby. That's going to be a so-called white man, even though he may come out with dark skin. See, this is what these people don't understand about the scriptures, man. The scriptures is very deep, but it's very simple as well. They don't understand the parable of the wheat and the tares, man. Because wheat and tares look just alike until they come up, you know what I'm saying, until you get to the harvest point of them. You know? There's plenty of people out here that's walking around out here that you would think that's so-called black and they're not. And you can only tell by the Spirit. And really, the Holy Spirit got to be dealing with you. Let me put in, did blacks own slaves in America? I'm just going to put in America. Because we know that it wasn't all, it could have been in certain states. But we already know they wasn't. Come on, bro. They trying to make it seem as if so-called black people was on a level of so-called white people is the thing. That's my thing. And see, it says, yes, a small number of free black people owned slaves in the United States, particularly in the antebellum South. However, black slave owners were relatively uncommon. See, it was a relatively uncommon thing. But they try and throw these little stories out there to make you think like, oh, see, y'all just as wrong. See, these so-called white people, they'll run with that. Y'all just as wrong. But it's saying a small percentage of free black people. And then, like I said, I've never heard of any of these people castrating or hanging the so-called black people. I've never heard that. Maybe it could have happened, but I've never heard that. And if it had, I'm pretty sure it was rare, for real. It says, why did black people own slaves? Family and friends. Some black people bought relatives or friends who were in danger of being sold into slavery. See, that right there is a beautiful number one reason. And that kind of goes back to the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? That where you can redeem a family member out of slavery. After they done sold themselves into pretty much overall servitude. Another reason was to keep families together. See that? Some black people bought family members so they could stay together after being freed. They're not going to tell you these reasons, but that Negro would sit his ass up there and talk about, 4,000 black people own slaves. But they're not going to tell you the reasons. Another reason is to exploit. Some black people bought slaves to exploit them, and it just was what it was. Because you got some cruel ass niggas. How common was black slave ownership? In 1830, 3,776 free black people owned 12,907 slaves out of 2 million. Man, that's a drop in the bucket. That's a drop in the bucket. The other 2 million, matter of fact, 9,000, 2,009,000. So the other 2 million slaves was owned by so-called white people. And you can clearly see, okay, when they go up into families and friends, some relatives, some black people bought their relatives who were in danger to being sold into slavery. You factor that in. To keep families together, you factor that in. So you're looking at maybe probably about 4,000 or so of those people were just sold to be exploited, so to speak. See? But 2 million, this was 1830 though. In 1850, the vast majority of African Americans were enslaved. This was 20 years later. So them very same people that actually bought so-called black people were actually enslaved themselves, more than likely. Because them so-called white people wasn't having it. Who are you? You uppity nigger. They probably hung their asses up. Come on, bro. Controversy. The existence of black slave owners is a controversial topic. Some people believe that the fact that black people own slaves minimizes the misdeeds of white people. See? And that's the point right there. White people own 2 million slaves. So-called blacks own 12,000. There's no comparison. But like I said again, this is the type of shit that they do to try and downgrade the fact that the so-called blacks done all that goddamn treachery to us as a people, man. Now let me put in Salakia. I think that was the apostle. Salakia. Yeah, the Apostle Gabar is going up. Oh, he's going on his backpack walk. Okay. Did blacks? Let me put in. Did blacks? I'm gonna put in this. Let's see if something pop up on this. Did blacks hang their slaves? I will highly doubt that. And they could have. It could have happened here and there. See, nothing pops up on that. Not on that end of it. Racist roots. Let's see. Oh, this is capital punishment hangings. Lynchings in the United States. History of lynching. See, this is all shit that so-called white people done. See, there's not even no information here as to the so-called blacks that they talking about own slaves actually hanging these people. Who would cut off you know, I don't mean to be graphic, but who would cut off a man's dick and balls, man, and put it in his mouth? White people were doing that. So-called black people wasn't cutting no skin off of blacks, man. Look, but these crackers was making shoes. See, people don't know this type of history. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put in did white people. We'll jump on the scriptures, man. I like to just go into the, Salakia. Because this is spirit, man. Because people need to know these things, man. Did white people make shoes, purses out of black people's skin? These people was going to hangings, man, and coming home with souvenirs and shit. They was keeping, Jake, motherfucking fingers and toes and balls and whatever in a damn jar over their damn chimney. Man, bro, these people was vicious, man. It says that white people make shoes, purses out of black people's skin. So, bear with me. Got to be a little bit direct with some of this. Skin during slavery. Let's see. This is history. They be trying to screw up some of this stuff. But some people, man, they don't have sense enough to look some of this stuff up. Because I can remember telling my dad and my neighbor, they like in, their 70s and shit like that. And I was telling them this one time. And he was like, that ain't true. Where you hear that from? I said, y'all don't know about history? They didn't know anything about babies being used for alligator bait. You think the Negroes is doing that? Come on, bro. Now, here you go right here. Jim Crow Museum. And I didn't even know they had a damn Jim Crow Museum. Okay, so somebody says, I don't mean to sound morbid, but I heard that the skin of slavery era black people were sometimes used as clothes. It is probably an urgent legend. Somebody, Jenkins Petaway from Montgomery, Alabama. Answer, unfortunately, there is some truth to what you ask. See, I have read about many deplorable practices that occurred during slavery and Jim Crow in this country. I have no interest in ranking these atrocities, but I can tell you that the account that troubled me the most was about the flesh of dead Africans and African Americans being used to make shoes. See that? And we're not Africans, man. We're not fucking Americans neither. We're Israelites. If you are so-called black, you are from Israelite from the tribe of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob, man. It says, I believe, and I first read about this in the archives in the Mouton Journal, but I could be wrong. I do not believe that this practice was widespread or long-lived, but it did occur. Maybe it would be best if I attached a newspaper transcript that details the practice. It is gruesome, but then so was slavery and Jim Crow. Dr. David Pilgrim, curator, Jim Crow Museum of Racist Imagery, Leather from Human Skin, Philadelphia News, printed in the Mercury, Saturday, March 17th, 1888. This shit is real. I remember that 2 or 3 years ago, I incidentally referred to a prominent physician of this city wearing shoes made from the skin of Negroes. he still adhered to that custom, insisting that the tan hide of the Africans make the most enduring and most pliable leather known to man. This is what they thought of you as, man. But you think Negroes, you think that these Negroes in that video would know that you think they would ask that question, or do you think they would know about that? You think that those so-called 4,000 slave owners, black slave owners, was wearing niggas on their feet? Come on, bro. They even got the couches, you know what I'm saying? Like the cushion and chairs and couches back then was made from Negro hair. They would pull the hair, cut the women's hair off, cut the children's hair off, cut the men's hair off, and stuff that shit off into the chairs, man, to make the chairs more comfortable and cushiony, man. It was doing all kinds of shit to Jake. It says, only last week, I met him upon the street with a brand new pair of shoes. I looked at his footwear, as I always do. His pedal coverings have an irresistible fascination for me, and said with a smile, is the downtrodden African still beneath your feet? See that? In the most matter-of-fact way, and without the shadow of a smile, he answered, I suppose you mean to require if I still wear shoes made of the skin of Negroes. But you hate Negroes, so why would you want anything to be on you from them? I certainly do, and I don't propose changing in the respect until I find a leather that is softer and will last longer and present a better appearance. I have no sentiment about this matter. Were I a Southerner in the American sense of the word, I might be accused of being actuated by the prejudice. But I am a foreigner by birth, although now an American citizen by naturalization. I fought in the rebellion that blacks might be free. I will use a white man's skin for the same purpose if it were sufficiently thick. And if any one has a desire to wear my epidermis upon his feet after I have drawn my last breath, he has my... Anyway. It says, the doctor's shoes always exhibit a peculiar, rich, lustrous in their blackness. He assures me that they never hurt his feet. The new pair he was using when I last saw him emitted no creaking sound and appeared as comfortable as though they had been worn a month. Yeah, this nigga's making motherfucking Nikes out of you niggas, Jordans out of you Negroes. And you'll have these token Negroes trying to make it seem as if we were just as bad as them. The fuck out of here, man. Their predecessors, he told me, had been in constant use for 8 months. He obtained the skins from the bodies of Negroes which had been dissected in one of our big medical colleges. Yeah, and they still doing medical research on you Negroes. The best leather is obtained from the thighs. Wow. The soles are formed by placing several layers of leather together. The skin is prepared by a tanner at Warsomdorf, 16 miles from Reading. The shoes are fashioned by a French shoemaker of this city, who knows nothing of the true character of the leather, but who often wonders at its exquisite smoothness, and says that it excels the finest French calf skin. Damn, bro. Man, bro. These people gotta be, man. Look, man. And this is the reason why, see, this is why we have a righteous hatred for Esau. The Lord said, hate the evil and love the good, man. Wow, man. Anyway, I'm gonna come on up out of here. I didn't even know this existed, man. But you know what? This might even be damn H. Oh, man. Matter of fact, let me make a copy of this right now while I'm in here. God damn, man. Esau is raw, man. But see, when you see stuff like this right here, this is them trying to justify what so-called white people done to us. You've never seen a Negro with a so-called white people, who, come on, bro. You gonna skin a nigga's thighs, bro, and use his skin for leather? Hell, George Washington, they would knock Jake teeth out of his motherfucking mouth and use his teeth as dentures, man. But anyway, let's play a little bit more in the video, and I'm going to go up. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's just go into the scriptures, though. Salakia. Again, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of the fact that you're trying to make us think that we're just as fucked up as you are. The wickedness that you done, we should forget, because a small little minute percentage of our people own slaves. But again, I've never heard of no Negro slave owners hanging no man, cutting his ball sack and rod off, going in and sleeping with his woman at night, impregnating his woman. You know, treating him with such just nah, man. I've never heard, because you can sell yourself into servitude in the scriptures, and you're not going to be treated that way. So let's go back to the law, because I can remember growing up in the South. You know, there certain laws. You know, like my grandmother, it was, you know, they kept certain laws of the scriptures, man. Like, you know, if you was hungry, you can go into anybody's field and eat. You just couldn't carry a basket or a bag into it, you know, and walk out of the field with it. You just go in there, eat as much as you want, and come on out. That's why she used to always tell us, you know, my grandmother used to always tell us to keep some salt and black pepper in our pocket. You know, we put it in a little bit of piece of aluminum foil, and that way we can sprinkle, you know what I'm saying, a little bit on, you know, whatever it was we was eating, you know. The law of being paid every day. We got paid every day when we worked in the South. You know, I worked in a lot of fields growing up, and at the end of the shift, shit, you would get your pay. You know, they keep your what you picked, you know, in the books throughout the day, and at the end of the day, you walked up, you got your pay in cash, and it was in all cash. You want no damn tax on it. But this is Deuteronomy 15 and 12. So let's get the law on what they would call slavery. This is our so-called, you know, what we would. It's not even slavery with what we was doing. It was just, you know, it was pretty much a servitude for 6 years. You worked. It wasn't a lifetime. You know, this so-called white man will work some of our ancestors worked until they was 100, man. Literally fell over. When they say that statement, work to the bone, literally. Our elderly were falling over in the field, and they were pretty much, you know, attach him to a damn horse and drag him off the field, while the rest of the family had to still work, man. They couldn't even, you know, here you go, you watching your loved one die that you done been with forever. You know what I'm saying? Because we did have a lot more deeper love for each other at the time. And you couldn't even stop working. You had to continue on working while they pulling away your come on, bro. These fucking people, man, brutal, man. We ain't never been like that, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Deuteronomy 15 and 12. It says, and if thy brother, an Hebrew man, or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. When has the so-called white man ever done that? We still here now, 500 years later. We done been in this bitch like 500 years, man. And then the way that matter of fact, he stole us. He kidnapped us. We wasn't even sold to him like that. At least not by our own people. But they'll tell you, yeah, Africans, your own people sold your own people. As a matter of fact, I got to get this real quick. You know, we got to, you know, just to show that we're not the same people as Africans, man. Here we go right here. Now, here's the Bible dictionary. This is Ham. These are the Africans right here. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitors of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites, and there's a few more of them, you know what I'm saying? But these are your so-called Africans, the Hamites. But it clearly says, but not the Negroes. Why didn't it say not the Negroes? Because we're not the same people. We come from Shem. We don't come from Ham. And we don't come from Japheth. But let's get this back again, right? Deuteronomy 15 and 12. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Here you go, Esau. He don't even want to give you no reparations. He sent your he told you about 40 acres and a mule, and then give you that. He sent your ass out into the wilderness to just fend for yourself with nothing. That was when they supposedly said, "Oh, y'all free now," but still, of course, we're not fully free. And you know what it is. Verse 14: Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock. Did Esau do that? And out of thy floor. Right? Did he give us food? Did he give us a horse, a sheep, goats, or anything like that? Did he give us any corn, wheat, figs, anything? Did he get to see this right? Let me read this back again. This is what our slavery consisted of, which was just servitude. Really, you just going to work. Pretty much, it was an employee and employer situation. Wasn't no goddamn chattel slavery where a motherfucker keep having babies for you, and matter of fact, you was breeding us, man. That's where you get the term motherfucker from. This man will put the son with his mama and impregnate her. He will put the fathers with the daughters. This man was vicious. But then they'll use little stories like this right here and try and make it seem like, see, you niggas can't say nothing about slavery. Look at you. Fuck out of here, man. And I can't wait till the Lord get down on these niggas, man. Because that's complete wickedness, bro. Oh, man, boy. Salaki, bear with me, man. Just like for the language, man. This shit just heats you. Deuteronomy 15:14. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock. Liberally. That means you got to give him some stuff, man. You got to give him a few things to roll with. You got to give him a few animals, man. And out of thy floor. You got to give him some food. You got to give him some things that he can go and plant with. You got to give him some seed. And out of thy winepress, of that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. See? Esau didn't, the so-called white man, didn't do none of this for us. The fuck out of here, man. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt. See, we're supposed to remember how we were treated by the Egyptians. And that's where Esau, the so-called white man, he gets that same style from. The treachery of the way that he treated us, this is the way that the Egyptians was treating us. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondsman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore, I command thee this thing today. And that was a commandment from the Lord, man. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away. Now here you go right here, because you had the option, because some of our brothers had it, man. Like, man, look, I ain't got to go nowhere. Everything is here. And then back then, people weren't really, I didn't need the new Durango with the Hellcat, or the new Bentley, or the new this or that, man. People was content back then, man, with just having a place to stay, food. You know what I'm saying? Things was real plain back then, man. It wasn't like how Esau done created things today, where your fucking eyes is big for every goddamn thing you see, man. It says, and thou shalt remember that. No, verse 16 again. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee in thine house, because he is well with thee. See? And sometimes that was the case. Some dudes, some men or women, they didn't want to go on. They like, man, look, master, hey, look, bro. Really was a brother. Bro, you good to me, bro. I don't need to go anywhere else. Because he's providing you with what? Shelter, food, clothing. You know what I'm saying? He's providing you with everything that you need. He's not whipping your back end. Trust me, if this man was whipping a brother's back end, they bouncing. They not gonna be like, oh, I love you, bro. Your house is well with me. No, they gonna get the fuck away from you. They can't wait until them 6 years is up, so they can get the fuck away from you. But our people weren't like that back then, man. And that's the way that it should have went. Verse 17. Then thou shalt take an awl, and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. And you had that, you had the commandment of treating that person right, man. You couldn't, say, oh, you know what, I'm not gonna feed you today. I'm taking away your meals. I'm taking away I'm gonna put you in a hot box for the day. I'm gonna tie you up in the sun. Esau was doing all kinds of shit, bro. So you can't compare these crackers to our people. That like I said again, I'm not saying that because there's some wicked niggas amongst Jake, but the kind of wickedness that Esau was displaying, no. When that kind of wickedness going on amongst our people back then, man. It just wasn't, man. And then again, like I said, these very slave owners, guess what? They became slaves, I'm willing to bet you, because Esau was running everybody down. If you was a so-called freed, so-called black man in America, they was giving you hell. These goddamn Edomites, man. Come on, bro. But I'm going to play a little bit more, and it's going to just end on out, man. Just pretty much his little intro.
There were something like 4,000. When we never anything like that. Oh, sir. Oh.
Anyway, I'm just going to let his little intro play real quick. And this guy right here, he been overall doing some coon shit.
Everybody.
You said sick and dogs on him? What'd you say?
I said that white people are sick of the blacks. Did you know that there were something like 4,000 black-owned slaves, blacks who own slaves?
4,000 blacks who own slaves?
In Kentucky or one of those areas.
What source is that? No, what's your source?
You didn't know that?
No, what's the source?
All your little black supremacy book. You didn't look that up?
No.
You believe that racism exists?
Yes.
And what is racism?
So racism is the unfair treatment of one group of people based on their race, or the belief that one group of people.
No, that's not true. Racism is you are for your race. That's basically all that it is. You are for your race over any other race. That's exactly what it is. And there's nothing wrong with it.
As inferior solely based off their race. So
he's going off Esau's definition, because Esau's racism because he's about his race. That's just the bottom line. And we're racist because we're about our race. It is what it is.
So you are racist for believing that black people are superior to others?
For saying that we have superior resilience.
Are you a racist for believing that black people are superior to all other races, you said?
No, I'm not racist.
Well, we are above all other races of people. And let's get that in Deuteronomy 7:6. We're above because the Lord chose us, man. We can't help the position that the Lord gave us, man. Just like they can't help the position that he gave them. Because they're going to eventually fall. Because their kingdom is being unraveled right now, man. And they're going into captivity forever. Well, not forever, but, 1,000 years, which is going to seem like fucking forever because it's going to be bad for you so-called white people in the kingdom because you're going to have to pay for the things that you've done. You're going to pay for all the shit that you've done. We only know about a few things that are coming out. You know what I'm saying? As far as, this internet kicking their ass, TikTok kicking their ass, and all these different videos and stuff is coming out of the atrocities that the so-called white man has done while he stands on TV, in his suit and tie, acting as if he's just so righteous. But the Lord is showing their wickedness, man. Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's racism right there. That's racism right there. The Lord is about his people. His people are the chosen people of Israel, the ones that he chose. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So don't let these people fool you into thinking that you got to forget about what they done to you. And that's what they really been trying to do forever right now. They're trying to get rid of, history out of schools. They're getting rid of this, of course they're doing this DEI bullshit. But it's a lot of, little things that they've been doing to try and, rid our people of forgetting about, or they just trying to make us forget about the shit that they done, bro. But the Lord is actually riling Jacob. See, they can try that shit all they want to, but the Lord is the one that's, pushing and it's eventually it's just going to spill over, man, because Jake is fucking tired of you damn Edomites right now, man. And it's not going to stop. You see, every time they, Jake get a little riled up and they hit the streets and they get to rioting and doing little shit like that, Esau throw you a holiday, like he gave you niggas Juneteenth, which Juneteenth only reminding you that those so-called black people at the time, man, they didn't even know that they was free. He's reminding you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had your ass in slavery. You know what I'm saying? But, we'll give you Juneteenth. You guys should, and they hating you right now for this little short month of February. Right? Let's get this 2 Thessalonians 2:3, because this is really what's going on in the planet when you see stuff like this. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That man of sin, that son of perdition, that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That's them. But he's also giving you this character of some red guy being on the ground with a pitchfork, standing around a lake of fire, poking people in the ass, you know what I'm saying, torturing them in this place called hell, he's telling you that that's the devil. And that's not in the Bible nowhere. So he's been in control of the narrative for quite some time. But now people are starting to pick through that shit. That internet is kicking his ass, bro. See? Verse 4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. This guy gave you a white God. He gave you white Jesus. He gave you white angels. He gave you white Paul, Peter, Joseph, John, white Mary, white Adam and Eve. The God of the Bible is white. When you put in God, I like to do it all the time. Let's do it. When you put in God, all you're gonna see is white people popping up, or pictures of butt naked white men. Here you go. Yeah. This is what you see. See, this is him, changing the images, whitewashing the images. That was during the rebirth, or his Renaissance, man. When they came out of them caves. And this wasn't that long ago. They be trying to talk like, oh yeah, billions of years ago there were cavemen, Neanderthals, and no, man, these motherfuckers was in caves about a couple of thousand years ago, man. Came out of those caves, and here you go. They gave you who did they give you? Sweet white baby Jesus. They made his son look like a white guy. Gave you. See, so he's the one that's in control of the narrative, or has been, and now the Lord is like, well, it's time to show who you really are. He's that man of sin, the son of perdition. Matter of fact, you can put in anybody in these scriptures. You can put in Adam and Eve. Let's put in Adam and Eve. So they're going to be white people. Knowing full well that the scriptures talks about our people being a dark melanated man. They give you this bullshit right here. This is what people are cussing and looking at right here. Some white people looking doofy as hell, butt naked. All the pictures got to be butt naked. This is what they give you. Damn snake, a talking snake with the damn horns on his head. Look at this. This is not scriptural. They don't know the scriptures, man. You can put in whoever you want to put in. Let's put in let's just put in Ezekiel. Let's see what Ezekiel will come out like. I'm just gonna put in a random one. Here you go. See? Look at that. Why everybody in the Bible, when the scripture says that the people of the scriptures, or the Israelites, were dark melanated people, why are these people white, so-called white people? Why are the images all white? And why is it always this butt nakedness? What's going on with these butt naked baby angels and stuff like that? See? Look, pictures like this. Let's put in another one. Let's try just one more random one. Who just that you just don't even hear about? Let's put in Amos. There you go again. See? Bunch of white images, man. This is what they done. They whitewashed all the images. They know full well the scriptures talks about the children of Israel being melanated, dark-skinned people, man. It's interesting, bro. Yeah, you could put in. Let's put in Elizabeth or somebody. Let's try a woman. And these are we talking about. These are names that could just be anybody. Queen Elizabeth. Let's put in Elizabeth of the Bible. See, there you go. Look at this. Pretty lily white. They even doing the AI boys now. Got her looking all like she's just, some badass, some white baddie. Come on, bro. This is what they've done throughout history. They telling you Negroes that you ain't shit, you're nothing. You were swinging them from trees in Africa, and if it wasn't for them, you would still be swinging from trees in Africa. And you don't think that the Lord is not going to make these people pay for this shit, man? Come on, bro. Look at this shit. This is an Elizabeth poster that you can buy. See? They're not going to show you some dark-skinned, beautiful, so-called black woman. No, you're not going to get none of that. And see, this is a part of them. Let me go back. Verse 4 again. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. These people are trying to tell you that they're the righteous. After doing all this wickedness. When the scripture says, hey, don't move a man's landmark. Don't take a person's land. Thou shalt not kill. What did he do, man? This dude killed in the hundreds of millions. So-called Native American Indians, man, sitting on reservations right now, doing bad, man. the tribe of Gad, man, of the children of Israel. Came to the west coast of Africa, swooped up on a bunch of you Negroes, brought, just made a whole trade out of it. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then breeding you. While raping you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man done a lot of shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. But here you go again. Here you go. You got token Negroes like this right here that's trying to downplay all the atrocities and evil that was done to us as a people. And see, the Lord gonna deal with people like this, man. You know? Control opposition. The Lord gonna deal with people like this. So I'm gonna end out there. I didn't want to keep it long. I just seen this and I already knew. As soon as I seen that shit pop up, I'm like, I already know where he's going, because this is the type of guy that this guy is. That's the reason why I've never really, I kind of, I'm just like, nah, I can't take nobody like this. He's a little too, can't take it, man. Watching token Negroes like this. Anyway, with that, pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala and a Bible Ball.